Japan, France, China, countries where high-speed rail has revolutionized travel. And yet, in the United States, one of the wealthiest nations in the world, high-speed trains remain a distant dream. Why? What's holding America back? Today, we're uncovering the real reasons. To understand why the U.S. lacks high-speed rail, we first need to look at its history. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, railroads were the backbone of America's transportation system. Cities grew because of them, industries thrived, and people traveled across the vast country like never before. But then came the automobile. With the rise of cars and the interstate highway system in the mid-20th century, trains took a back seat. Americans fell in love with the freedom of driving and flying, leaving rail to fade into the background. But while other countries were investing in modern rail systems, the U.S. went all in on cars and planes. Geography plays a major role. High-speed rail thrives in regions with dense populations and shorter distances between major cities. In the U.S., cities are often spread out by hundreds or even thousands of miles, making rail less practical for long-distance travel. But even in densely populated areas like the Northeast Corridor, where high-speed rail could work, progress has been painfully slow. Why? Let's dive deeper. One major hurdle is politics. Developing high-speed rail requires massive investments, land acquisition, and government support. But in the U.S., transportation policy often prioritizes highways and airports. Why? Lobby. Big industries like airlines, car manufacturers, and oil companies have a vested interest in keeping Americans dependent on cars and planes. Their lobbying efforts influence policymakers, making it harder for rail projects to get the funding they need. Another obstacle? NIMBYism, not in my backyard. High-speed rail projects often face fierce opposition from local communities. People worry about noise, environmental impacts, and changes to their neighborhoods. Take California's ambitious high-speed rail project. Announced in 2008, it promised to connect Los Angeles and San Francisco in under 3 hours. But over a decade later, it's still far from completion, plagued by legal battles, construction delays, and skyrocketing costs. In contrast, countries like China have built thousands of miles of high-speed rail in just a few decades. The difference? Streamlined processes, lower construction costs, and centralized government control. In the U.S., fragmented decision-making and complex regulations slow everything down. But it's not all bad news. Some projects are gaining traction. Texas is working on a high-speed line between Dallas and Houston, and the Northeast Corridor is upgrading its rail systems. Private companies like Brightline in Florida are also stepping up, proving there's demand for modern rail travel. So, could high-speed rail still happen in the U.S.? Absolutely. But it will require visionary leadership, major investments, and a cultural shift towards sustainable transportation. The question isn't whether the U.S. can build high-speed rail. It's whether we have the will to make it happen. What do you think? Should America finally join the high-speed rail revolution? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that dig deep into the issues shaping our world.